Scarborough Sunday morning sent out a mysterious tweet claiming that what he called White House insiders, God only knows who that might be, it's probably Ivanka, the always beautifully dressed and coiffed in great shoes and perfect makeup, Ivanka, and her fucked up, skinny criminal husband, Jared. They're probably the insiders that Scarborough is talking about. But according to Scarborough, they believe that John Kelly's days working for Trump are numbered. Despite the fact that on Sunday, I don't know if you're watching the Sunday talk shows, I try to watch a little bit of Face the Nation and Judas Stephanopoulos' show, which I'm not going to watch anymore. He had that little piglet, Kellyanne Conway, on, who just dumped bushel after bushel after bushel basket of bullshit right on top of George's head. And George just sat there. Yeah, okay, Kellyanne. But the White House trolls were out on all the talk shows on Sunday, so I understand. I don't watch that many of them. Insisting that Trump, the pig, still has confidence in Kelly, the pig himself. Kelly and Trump, pigs both, assholes, morons, liars, hypocrites. Remember what we all thought? Oh, John Kelly. Oh, well, he's a former Marine, 4-star general. He's going to impose some order on this piece of shit that is president. No, sorry. It worked just the other way. Now, I'm not saying that Kelly wasn't a liar from the beginning. The way he lied on that black woman representative from Florida, the racist shit that he dumped on her, and then when it turned out to be totally untrue, refused to even apologize. When there was video proof that the fucker was lying, he still refused to apologize. And what he said about the Dreamers, get off their lazy asses, all this other stuff. This is Trump 2.0, and he was supposed to do something to straighten Trump out. Scarborough tweeted, quote, White House insiders are saying it's just a matter of time before Kelly is gone. One source tells me more unflattering stories are coming out against an isolated chief of staff who has lost the president's confidence, end quote. Would you like to have Donald Trump's confidence? Do you know what that means? In order to have his confidence, Trump's confidence, you have to be first a world-class liar. Secondly, someone who's willing to sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally abuse and wreak violence against women. Serially, all sorts of women. Third, you have to be an ignorant son of a bitch who doesn't understand how government works at all. There is not a, and Eisenhower said this too, back when they run it. He didn't know. He was approached, Eisenhower, by both political parties, Democrats and Republicans, because they knew whoever snagged him would win the election because he was the Supreme Allied Commander, D-Day, the invasion of Europe, VE Day, all of it. That was Eisenhower. And Eisenhower admitted, look, I'm from the military. Strict chain of command. When I say jump, the people below me jump, and then they tell the people below them to jump, and they tell the people, it works that way, chain of command. Eisenhower said, I don't think I can operate in a civilian structure. And had it not been for his advisors, and I'm not defending Eisenhower, an awful lot of awful shit went on in the 50s. A lot of awful shit. But at least Eisenhower at the beginning had the self-knowledge to say, I'm paraphrasing, but what he was saying, my job has been to kill people and smash things. That's what I was hired to do. To kill as many people as I could. To destroy as much infrastructure as I could against the enemy. That's what I was hired for. I was not hired to make peace. I was hired to destroy. And he did. He did. Kelly, I'm not comparing this lying son of a bitch to Eisenhower, but Kelly was trained the same way. To destroy. Somebody questions your authority, be careful, they might wind up in a fucking brig for 40 years or shot. If you lose Donald Trump's confidence, what does that say about you? It says you're either lower than steak shit in a wagon rut, or it says you are a little bit better than Trump, and he can't stand that. Everything is about Trump. Everything. Everything. And if you deviate from that basic elemental rule, you're gone. Lost the president confidence. Raw story goes on, although Kelly has been credited with instilling more discipline in what had been a completely chaotic White House, his handling of the Rob Porter scandal has led to a cascade of negative leaks questioning his fitness for the job. No shit. Do you think John Kelly, as Trump's chief of staff, gives a rat's ass one way or the other whether or not Rob Porter smacks and beats the shit out of his former wives? Do you think Kelly cares about that? He doesn't give a shit about that. If it's a problem, I'm sure Kelly's mindset, if it's a problem, go to court, ladies. Call the police, ladies. Sue him, divorce him. All of which they did. All of which they did. But to Kelly, blackening your wife's eye? So? There's your point? What's your point? He does a good job here in the White House. That's all we care about. What? Kathy speaks.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just, it's just something that's a blanket statement that's obvious, but it's just reinforced every day by these monsters. It's just that women are seen by every member of the Trump administration as sometimes useful objects. You know, there's no value beyond sex to Trump at all to women. Eye candy, sex, teenage girls he can walk in on at Miss Universe pageants, women he can order around, and then I guess when that gets a little bit too weird, he likes to have them piss on him in Russian hotel rooms or something. You know, so, I mean, he's got really messed up relationships with women. Apparently, his mother is a very fascinating woman. He never talks about her. She was a true immigrant story. I think she was from Scotland or something and literally came over on the boat. She has a true American story to tell, and it's like he's ashamed of her because she wasn't born rich and famous and gorgeous and glamorous and it wasn't some Madonna whore like his daughter and all his wives. So, and other women. So, why are we surprised if we have wife beater Portman or wife?
May I interject? When you say Madonna whore, you're referring to Trump's opinion of women.
Trump's opinion of women.
Right, okay.
The Madonna whore.
Right,
I mean, like Ivanka. I mean, she is sort of the perfect example of his Madonna whore. You know, it's a gorgeous, beautiful woman that he'd like to fuck, except it's his daughter. You know, and she's the mother of his Jewish grandchildren, you know, which he likes to talk about his Jewish grandchildren as if they are also objects in his life that he can flip around and manipulate. When you're a psychopath, to a degree, all human beings are objects. Everything is an object, but particularly the objectification by women. Now, I don't think every member of the Trump administration would be clinically psychopathic as he is, but they are all sympathetic to his misogyny. Obviously, Kelly is. I mean, the first 2 or 3 times I heard Kelly say something awful, I thought, oops, well, that doesn't sound right. I mean, and starting with his silence, his complete silence after the racial incident When the woman, the protester, not racial, but the white supremacist incident, when the white woman was run over by the neo-Nazis, and Trump was like, there's some very fine people who just killed that woman with a car. You know, that innocent victim, and Kelly just stood there with his head down, you know, never said a word. So, I mean, we've known they're morally suspect and see human beings as objects for a long time. So I just don't think it should be a surprise when we point out their hypocrisy over, oh, well, I mean, Trump was talking about Al Franken with his hands poised over a woman's sleeping body, you know, that USO thing. This is a woman who, of course, had the day before been parading around on stage in a string bikini. So it's not like she was, you know, some foreign diplomat at the USO. So the context does count in these incidents. But, I mean, Trump was calling for his head. He's got to go. He's got to go. It's okay for Rob Portman to beat the shit out of people, but Franken has to resign. So that's all I have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Bay. Anyway, back to what Scarborough said. It's also been reported, not by Scarborough, but by other sources, that Ivanka and her husband, the skinny little thug Jared Kushner, have reportedly been the most eager to see Kelly thrown out on his ass because they feel that Kelly has limited their access. Read Jared's access. I mean, you don't limit the access of your daughter. That's impossible. But her husband, fucking A, why not? And I can guarantee you, as I sit here, and this is no praise for General Kelly, but I will guarantee you that Kelly looks at Jared Kushner as a waste. Just a skinny little white boy, cowardly son of a bitch who never served his country, never wore the uniform, and is therefore a piece of crap. But Ivanka, the beautiful, always well-coiffed and perfectly dressed Ivanka, that's Trump's daughter. And General Kelly or General Jesus, it doesn't make any difference, is not going to restrict access between Trump and his daughter. So when Ivanka decides that it's time for Kelly to go, and whispers that into Daddy's ear over and over and over again, Kelly's gone.